ask yourself these 4 questions when it comes to confronting negative thoughts that continue to arise in your mind. What's up, everyone? My name is Morsi, and if you're new to this channel, I encourage others to live with effortless ease. And today, I would like to share 4 questions that I use to help me confront these negative thoughts that continue to arise in my mind. These thoughts that continue to make me feel this sense of fear, which is essentially mind-made. You know, it's important that we make this intention to shift our perspective and really, change the center of our thought system to understanding that thought is a completely separate entity. You're not your thoughts. You see, thought is a very small piece of consciousness. Thought needs consciousness to survive, but consciousness does not need thought. And our original mind is beyond thought. That's where love, that's where joy, that's where peace lies, that long-lasting, that feeling of peace, joy, and love that comes within. It's beyond thought. So, number one question you can ask yourself is this reality? Is this thought reality? We tend to interpret our world based on past experiences. And that really begins to confuse our perception of reality. A huge part of the spiritual awakening process is determining illusion from reality. And you can start with your thoughts, asking yourself, am I thinking this way due to an experience from my past, due to a mind-made concept, due to a social construct? Is this real? Is this truly the present moment? And I use this quite often, that question, in my journal when I'm journaling. And what usually comes about is a piece of myself that I have not confronted, an experience that I may not have fully confronted from the past, or I may have confronted it and it continues to come up, and I just have to continue to look at it full on and learn how to allow it to be there, but not attach to it, right? A very powerful way to transcend negative thinking is to allow that feeling to be there within you, right? But being the space that surrounds it, you're essentially bringing in space. And so you are no longer attached to it, but you're allowing it to be there. And at the same time, you're allowing yourself to be present, to see reality for what it truly is. Most of the root of where our thoughts comes from our past. It comes from that inner child within us that wants to be set free, but it needs to be given permission to do so by letting go of this idea that we are our past. So when it comes to asking yourself these questions and confronting yourself, ask yourself, is this reality? Number 2, another question you can ask yourself is, what is my reaction when I believe this thought? Many times we're not upset for the reasons that we think we are. That's what A Course in Miracles says. It says, you are not upset for the reasons that you think you are. When you react without pausing, without bringing space into that moment, bringing space into that feeling or emotion, you become the thought. You become the reaction for that moment. And you begin to confuse this feeling with the forms that you see. So you begin to blame and complain. And so those reactions, they don't align with who you truly are. So it's important that you sit back and maybe, it's through reflection, through in retrospect. This is what happens every time I think this thought. Maybe you might go into a state of gloom, feeling sullen. Maybe you might be angered. And many times anger is just what we use to express ourselves in order to cover up a more vulnerable feeling. And that's sadness, that's fear. We choose to be angry. So many times, if you believe a certain thought and you get angered, that's you unconsciously trying to cover up that feeling, the truth within you. Also, we tend to experience certain emotions in loops and thoughts. It's just a pattern, it happens. And so I like to envision this loop and understand that the moment I become aware that I'm in this continuous loop where I'm unconscious of my reactions, unconscious of my thoughts and my actions and my feelings, the moment I'm aware of it, I pull myself out of it. I'm not in that loop anymore. It's just like, for example, life. Life will give us the same experience again and again and again until we can learn from it, until we can sit back, become aware of it, and learn from it so we can move forward. So it's important that you understand what are your reactions, get to know yourself, because this unconscious mind activity that we have within us, that those parts of ourselves that we're unaware of, they tend to show themselves through emotion. So observe your emotion. Be the observing presence, the watching consciousness. Be there and observe it. Be aware of it. And then that's when you can begin to go more in depth to those thoughts and really pull out the illusion of that thought, how false it is and how you've been holding on to this false sense of self. Number 3, another question you can ask yourself is, who am I without this thought? I like this one. I really do, because our thoughts are mind-made, right? And they're all illusions. And so we tend to find comfort in old thought patterns because that's what we're used to. Even though those old thought patterns keep us in this continuous loop of despair, suffering, fear, doubt, just we're not aligned with who we truly are, we still tend to go back to that because we already know what's going to happen. It's predictable. So we go back to those thoughts that are harming us, that aren't helping us, that aren't healing our mind. So instead of attempting to find a sense of comfort in old false thought patterns, ask yourself, who am I without this thought? And visualize yourself without that thought. I guarantee you'll visualize a self with non-fear, no suffering, feeling the sense of joy and peace. For me, I'm always envisioning myself beyond thought, transcending thought, allowing my thoughts, my emotions, my pain to be there, but just surrounding myself with it. And that's just my personal intention. And the more that I do that, the more I become it. Because what you focus on is truly what your reality tends to be. And you begin to draw in experiences. You draw in signs and synchronicities naturally through your own energy you emanate. Your own vibrational frequency, you begin to shift and move to the lifeline where you are intending to go, right? You are creating your own reality. So ask yourself, who am I without this thought? And focus on that. Focus your time and your energy on that because it's more worthy. And number 4, the last question you should ask yourself is, can I be more aware of these thoughts? I I like to add that in there because it's me setting a goal for myself. Because when you want to awaken, when you truly want to heal your mind, you will put in that effort each and every day to be alert, to be aware, to be awake each day. And so even if you do find yourself reacting, the fact that you were aware in that moment that you reacted is a step closer. It's you're breaking through the ego. It may still be a conditioned thought, but the fact that you were aware of the fact that that happened, it means that you are shifting to a more higher state of consciousness. So when you ask yourself, can I be more aware of this? You are setting a goal and intention for yourself to move forward. Because those who want to know the truth, they ask questions. They begin to be more intrigued. They're not so attached to that feeling or that thought. They're willing to let go. And by you watching this video, I mean, it shows that you are willing to let go, especially if you made it here to question number 4. So like down below if you are willing to be more aware of your negative thought patterns. Like down below if you're more willing to be awake, alert, and aware in each moment, accepting yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself a little grace so you can have space to allow those feelings and emotions to arise within you. My name is Morsi, and if you enjoyed this video, check out these 2 videos on the screen. Until next time, peace.